Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang in California with morsels of a thought number 1423. Today is Sunday, and we are on our Sunday series in a new book today called The R Factor. We are evolving our human relationship story by Ken Ashby and Maris Segal. The R Factor, mastering connection with relationship rhythms, is the next evolution in our human story and our life legacy. The R Factor follows two driven characters, Mindy and Rich, Mindi, who discover that relationships are a factor impacting every aspect of their lives. Mindy, a concert producer, and Rich, a stockbroker and aspiring songwriter, each face their own personal and professional relationship journey and unexpected self-discovery. Mindy and Rich learn that when the four universal relationship rhythms are in sync, respect, responsibility, reframing, and resilience, their business prospers and life is thriving. What people are saying. R Factor test identifies the key elements in creating and maintaining meaningful and lasting relationships: respect, responsibility, reframing, and resilience, and how the quality of your relationships determines the quality of your life. Sharon Lechter said this. She's the co-author of Exit Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And then you get a testimonial from Lindsay Vaughn, who is an Olympic champion, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. He or she says, Lindsay, in my pursuit of excellence on and off the slopes, as a world-class Olympic athlete, entrepreneur, and philanthropist, I agree with the themes explored in this book: respect, responsibility, reframing, and resilience. I've had many moments in my career when I called upon resilience, and I was grateful for that learned skill. Ashby and Segal have written a great book for business and personal leadership. And the next testimonial is The R Factor is a must read. Whether you're single or in a relationship, this book will leave you with a greater understanding of what it means to truly connect with others and the role that all relationships play in our personal growth and happiness. That's by Rob Angel, best-selling author of Game Changer and creator of Pictionary. Good day, Gina Portorf. Ken Ashby and Maris Segal, America's master connectors, coach and they coach and consult with executives, entrepreneurs, celebrities, and rising leaders to bring their professional, personal, and philanthropic vision to life. Their relationship marketing expertise, combined with head and heart leadership, builds meaningful connections and impactful strategies for their global clients. As authors, they have been featured in 13 Amazon best-selling leadership-centered books and recently spoke on a TEDx stage. This is by Joint Venture Publishing. Their website is www.segalleadershipglobal.com, ISBN 979-885-9524-2-1. Okay. Now, come to the front of the book. It's a national bestseller. And you have to discover the universal rhythms for leading prosperous relationships. And they're autographed to me. Yin Yang, may your relationships always evolve. Maris and Ken. What people are saying about the R Factor. Dr. Greg Reed, award-winning speaker and author of 28 bestsellers, including 3 Feet from Gold and his most recent title, Wealth Made Easy, says, the R Factor offers innovative insights into succeeding in business and beyond with universal relationship rhythms. The next one is by David Corbin, Mentor to Mentors, 4-time Wall Street Journal best-selling author, 2-time international award-winning inventor, says, the challenges and rewards of nurturing prosperous relationships begin within each of us. From mindset to life lessons, Ashby and Segal creatively coach the reader to view their own lives through the story of 2 characters. Eric Swanson says, and Eric Swanson is a 13-time #1 international best-selling author, founder of Habitude Warrior and Speaker Hearts, award-winning TEDx featured speaker, and creator of authorresource.com, says, whether you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, C-suite executive, a student of life and looking for love, or newly entering the workforce, the R Factor is the book for you. Through storytelling, the authors artfully shine a beacon on the power of connected relationships and take the reader on a journey of self-discovery. It's awesome. That's how he wrote it. And the next one is by Dr. Judith Rich. She's a pioneering teacher and thought leader in the field of leadership, transformation, and consciousness. She's the best-selling author of Beyond the Box. This book is filled with transformational leadership nuggets. It will serve corporate teams, individuals, executives, entrepreneurs, young adults, and families throughout their personal and professional lives. It's worth having on every desk as a tool to return to regularly. Ashby and Segal have brought a fresh perspective to exploring the power of mastering connected relationships both personally and professionally, says this next one. As master leaders themselves, living and working together, they are a great example of head and heart leadership. This is by Michael Strassner, visionary, corporate trainer, mentor, and coach, Amazon #1 best-selling author, living on the skinny branches, mastering leadership, shift the drift, and change the world. Let me see if we want to keep on reading the accolades. Oh, I suppose we could. Why don't we leave the next few accolades for later, another time, and go to the R Factor, discover the universal rhythms for leading prosperous relationships. Good morning, Liz Roskantara. Penn, Ashby, and Maris Segal, copyright 2023, ISBN, I just read that already, joint venture publishing Blue Sky. And for quantity discounts or bulk purchases, contact them at their website that I read earlier. All rights reserved. No part of this book may be copied, reprinted, or reproduced in any way, electronic or otherwise, without written permission from the author and or publisher. And they gave me permission in person. This is a work of fiction. Names, characters, places, and incidents are the products of the author's imaginations or are used fictitiously. Any resemblance to actual events, locales, or persons, living or dead, is entirely coincidental. No warranties or guarantees are expressed or implied by the inclusion of the content herein. Neither the publisher nor the individual authors shall be liable for any physical, psychological, emotional, financial, or commercial damages, including but not limited to special, incidental, consequential, or other damages. Dedication. We, the authors, Mira Segal and Ken Ashby, we dedicate this book to our parents who were connected in life and love, each married over 50 years. Their spirit and energy continue to inspire our relationships every day. They modeled for us how to show respect, be responsible, reframe limiting beliefs, and stand up with resilience. We are their living legacy. Robert and Deborah Segal, John and Jean Ashby. And to our beautiful family for whom we stand in gratitude every day, Kim and Jet, Cindy, Grace, Sam, and Will, Ryan and Amanda, John, Adriana, Kaylee, Peyton, and Blake, Blake. We honor our relationships with each of you and look forward to all the adventures that will continue to unfold. The R Factor. There are 12, 13, 14, 15 chapters. I will read those another day. But we shall read chapter 1, which is titled Connection. Oh, aptly titled. Relationships begin with a connection, and the one relationship that you can't leave home with is you. A smile lit up Mindy's face as the band finished their last number in the long-awaited and highly publicized last tour of one of the biggest bands in the last 2 decades. Now 38, Mindy had been just a teen when the band got its start and quickly climbed the charts as they became one of the most popular groups connecting generations from teens to adults. The fact that they had broken into the top of the charts with their first hit song was impressive. Even more impressive, though, was the fact that the band's popularity hadn't waned since then. In fact, they had just hit another #1. As Mindy had just witnessed, every concert, including this one in LA, usually sold out within hours after tickets became available. And the standing room only crowd at the arena tonight was no different. Hearing and cheering full house crowd, Mindy was grateful for another concert that had gone off without a glitch. It was nights like these that made Mindy love her work. As an executive concert producer in the music business, she had a reputation for being one of the top concert producers in the country, a recognition that she'd held with great appreciation and respect for nearly a decade. Professional musicians were always happy to perform when she was the producer at a venue because they knew everything would go smoothly. Under Mindy's supervision and leadership, no details were overlooked and there weren't any surprises. She knew her audiences and she did her homework, always knowing beforehand all of the significant and even minor details that impressed those she served, whether it was on stage or behind the scenes. Her attention to detail was unsurpassed in the music industry, with attention not only to the artists that performed, but also their production, business, marketing, and management teams. Most people thought she had a dream job, and she was no exception. Who wouldn't love to rub shoulders with platinum award winning artists and have access to everyone in their circle? To some, she was the definition of lucky. To Mindy, though, her success was the product of hard work, learning, research, and, most important, connected, trusted, professional relationships that had taken years to build. The band had finished their encore, and the road crew had started taking down the lights and sound equipment and would soon begin packing the road cases and loading multiple semi-trucks. Mindy was making her post-concert rounds. Satisfied that the crowd had dispersed and the front of house details were all in good order, she exited the hall and started to return to the backstage area, where she would have her first opportunity to breathe, have a quick bite, and spend a little time with her favorite childhood band, who were now close and who counted on Mindy to run a tight ship. As she rounded the corner, she was caught by surprise when she ran into a tall man with dark hair that had the slightest sprinkle of gray at the temples. No, not one to forget a face, Mindy knew right away that she had never met the man and wondered how he'd gotten past security. "Can I help you?" she asked in her most professional voice that was softened by a sunny smile. Maybe," the man stammered, trying to figure out why the attractive blonde woman before him looked familiar. "Hey, wait, aren't you Mindy Rhodes? The Mindy Rhodes, who produces some of the biggest concert concerts in the music industry? Yes, I am. What can I do for you? She asked. Wow, it's a privilege to meet you. You don't know me yet. I'm Rich Holmes. Following his introduction, he handed her one of his signature business cards, a clear business card with a QR code linked to a secure web page which contained his contact information and a catalog of the songs he'd written. Hello, Rich, Mindy replied before her recall kicked in. Wait a minute. I've seen this card before. You have? Well, that's pretty awesome, but I don't believe we've met before, so. No, we haven't, but I had the pleasure of having lunch last week with a couple of colleagues who are publishers and agents, Mindy explained. As a matter of fact, I was sitting across from them when one pulled your QR card out, and we all listened to one of your songs. What was the name of the song? It was pretty good. I do remember that, but mostly I remember your card. It's unforgettable, actually. What a creative and convenient way to give people access to your music. Thank you, Mindy. You don't know how much that means to me. I have written a couple songs that have been published, but I'm still looking to write that one song that'll make all the difference in my career. As a matter of fact, I think I'm close. He said, if you get a chance, I'd love for you to listen to it. It's the most recent song uploaded in my catalog. I'll do that, Rich, Mindy replied, but right now I have to get back to work. Were you looking for someone, or? I was actually hoping I would come across a member of the crew or someone who could get my card to Silver Daughter or their manager. But running into you is even better, he exclaimed. Well, I'm not sure about that, Mindy quipped. The music business is known for its exclusivity, and managers, agents, publishers, and artists intentionally make it difficult for songwriters and fans to have access to them. While the separation was intended to protect these professionals, it made it extremely difficult for unpublished songwriters and indie artists to get noticed. Mindy knew the protocol very well, and she had worked very hard to make sure she was trusted in the business. Part of building and maintaining that industry trust meant that she couldn't encourage strangers who might be trying to use her to get close to musicians, something which she'd always been very cognizant of throughout the years. But there was something about Rich that told her he was being on the up and up. The next words out of her mouth were unprecedented, and they came to a surprise even to her. You know what? The petite blonde answered. You've gone to all the trouble to try to get a backdoor introduction. Do you want to come backstage with me? That'd be great, but I don't want to intrude or anything, he said, knowing she was going out on a limb by extending the invitation. Well, I like your ingenuity, and I figured that anyone who would take the risk of getting kicked out by security and setting themselves up to inconveniently run into me must be pretty dedicated. At the very least, you managed to get past security, and in my book, that's impressive. It's fine, and you're not intruding, especially since you are known by a couple of my friends in the industry, she said. Oh, I promise I am harmless, Rich replied eagerly. Well, then, what do you say about meeting the band? She smiled. Who, me? You're inviting me backstage to meet the band? That's what I said, she grinned again at his excitement. This business is all about relationships, and if you really want to break into it, it definitely helps to know someone. Now you can say you know me. Rich, you never know. It might be the start of something, but I'm not making any promises. No promises, I get it, Rich declared, but every introduction is an opportunity, isn't it? It looks like I just stumbled into one. Laughing, she replied, well, I'm not so sure we stumbled. I'd like to think it was more graceful than that, Mindy pointed out. Come on, we better get going. We better get moving if you want to meet the band before they leave. Inspired by her energy and enthusiasm, Rich followed her down the hall, grateful for their chance encounter. He had just met the woman who was going to let him meet the band. He had no idea where it would take him, but like every song he'd ever written, he hoped it would be the first verse in what might ultimately seal his place as a professional songwriter. He'd always wanted to write that one song that would open a door to his notoriety, and he dared to hope that this night would be that connection. That was chapter 1. So, connection is very important in our relationships. And I hope Whiskers Guitar enjoyed it because you're in the industry too, and I have been backstage to uh, uh, shows, and it's a business. Oh my goodness, it is so cutthroat. And you have to be so careful. Every move counts. I did it too. Yes, good. I'm so glad. Okay, Gina. Okay, Liz. Okay, and hello to people who come afterward. John, Clark, Tom, Krebs. Oh my goodness. And Maris, Segal, and Ashby, if you guys come, oh, that'd be great too. And everybody else that comes to watch my show. Okay, old Kinderhook. Oh, just for people who don't know, old Kinderhook was a congressman who always needed to see things through to their happy end. And so I am always saying okay at the end and giving credit to where we got the phrase old Kinderhook.